Hey y'all, it's Sarah. I have another fun Christmas craft to share with you guys today, or fun, I at least think so. I want to jump right into this one. Hopefully I can make it a quick one. It's super simple. You can see I've got everything laid out to get started. Not even a big production for this one. I'm going to be using this Dollar Tree Merry and Bright wooden sign. I have a couple of the little small skinny Dollar Tree washi tape rolls in black. I'm going to be using some Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, which is their color for black. And you could honestly keep this the color that it is, or go with red or whatever Christmas colors work for you. It's totally customizable, even down to the washi tape. I'm going to be using, of course, some Readi-board brand foam core. This is something that I usually pick up at Dollar Tree, but you can find it at places like Wal-mart and Dollar General also, and it's normally $1 or less per sheet. I'm going to be cutting mine down. I also have a couple of pre-painted foam core strips. The video tutorials for the wood finishes are always going to be kind of solo and independent from the actual craft from them, because I need to be able to put more detail in the painting process of this. So check out those in order to get instructions on how to get this wood look. And that's pretty much all we're doing. I want to dive right into this. I feel like this is a really quick one that we can knock out really fast. In order to do my framing strips, for those of you that are already playing with this craft, I'm going to give you one easy recommendation. Do your 3-inch strips like you normally would paint a single 3-inch strip, and then just cut them down to the 1-inch increments and then do those sides. It makes it so much easier than trying to faux paint out one of these little skinny strips. So mine are 1 inch. My cuts are going to be 2 strips at this 1 inch by 20 inches. I'm sorry, by 15 inches. And the backer sheet that I'm going to be using, this time I'm using just a single sheet of white. This one is going to be cut down into 15 by 20. So basically all you have to do is cut this in half at its longest width, and you could honestly get 2 of these signs out of this project. So through the magic of, I already jumped ahead and did this, I have mine cut down to my 15 by 20, and you can see I accidentally got a little paint on it, and that's fine because it was down at the edge. I'll be able to cover that. If it was in the center, that would be a problem because we're actually going to be using this centerpiece. So this is all you're going to cut down to. Now that I've shown you that, my next step is to go ahead and jump in on the painting that I am actually going to do. And really simply, all this is just my ink color paint. And I'm just going to dive in and paint this. I am actually just going to try to cheat here and grab my sponge that I usually use for my ink color anyway. And I'm just going in with straight ink. And I wanted to show you this really quick. Instead of paint brushing these, which can be a really pain. And you know what? This one looks like it wants to shred on me. This actually is probably due to be replaced. So I'm going to grab one that I know will not do this. I'm going to be using just one of my kitchen sponges that I like to use. This one's been used multiple times to paint small projects like this. I usually try to wash it. These don't tear up as easy. That wood surface was really bad on my little bath sponge. So you can see just how quickly of a process this turns it versus doing a brush. And you don't get a whole lot of brush strokes in there, especially using chalk paint, which can, it has a thick consistency that can leave heavy brush strokes behind. Since this is a raw wood form, it already has kind of that grain raw wood. And you could this sign absolutely would have worked leaving it the natural color like I did the other ones, using the piece on earth and the snowflakes and those things. This project you could have got away with not painting it, but I wanted something slightly different. So now doing those edges is pretty simple. The only thing that I'll have to do now is come in with a brush and do all of these little crevices and edges. And you saw just how quickly, with a few seconds of running my mouth, how easy it was to cover this thing, where if I was doing it with a brush, even as much as I paint, it still would have taken me a lot longer. So all I'm going to do now is just go in now with a brush, do those details, and let this dry to the side, and we can work on construction. Okay, y'all, so my Merry and Bright sign is set to the side and currently drying. I'm going to go ahead and assemble what little bit of assembly there is to this piece right here. And it really is going to be so super simple. I'm going to bring in my washi tape here. And the only other thing I really kind of need at the moment is a ruler. And I'm just going to come up maybe about 2 inches to 2 1/4. And that really is kind of a visual thing for you. But that's about how far I'm going to come up to kind of mark where I want my washi tape to go. Or at least where it's going to start. And I'm doing it right now, just doing those marks right now before I glue anything down, just because it makes it easier for my ruler to lay flat. Once I put the border on here, it's a little harder. Okay, so really that's all I marked. That's about all I have to do on that. My next step, this is going to be the hardest part of this craft, and that's probably the peeling of the washi tape to get it started. Oh, there we go. I impressed myself on that one. So on the line that I marked, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm not going to mark any other lines or measure any other lines. I'm going to eyeball it from here. I just needed a starting point. And I'm going to trim those down as soon as I get all of this laid and applied. So I am going to just do 2 lines. I had originally planned on doing 3. I didn't have very much of my thicker black version of the washi tape, so I'm just going to eyeball it and go with 2 lines. But you could go as far as you want it with this, and you're going to see several other projects like this from me, just for some variety of ideas there. Now, I'm going to be able to put 2 stripes on each end of this with 1 roll. And it was a partial roll to begin with, and these are, they're not super large to begin with. They come out of the multi-packs that Dollar Tree has. But just one, if you can find just one little thin. Well, guys, I'm back to struggling. I let my little thing flick down. Grab something sharp here. And I may or may not get 1 more stripe off of this length, if I don't destroy it in the process. There we go. Nope, it doesn't look like it. Gosh, I hate to waste that. That's going to get stuck to the side of my desk and used later. And I'm sure this will probably get used for something. I said this was going to be quick, fast, and easy, and here I am making it seem like a struggle. This really is the hardest part. Finding the starting point on your washi tape to get it to unroll is the hardest part of this whole craft. Uh-oh. This tape right here keeps wanting to curve on me. That's what's taking me so long. There we go. So all I need to do now is come in, and I'm going to use my blade just because that makes this simpler. I have it right handy. And I'm just trimming that washi tape flush. You could have bent it around and come to the back side of it. And it would have been a cute detail there on the side to have those stripes. Either which way would have worked. I just didn't want to use that much of it to wrap all the way around. So there's my little scraps. Remove my little Readi-board brand tag. I wish all tags come off that easy. That is one of my lifelong pet peeves, is tags and stickers placed in weird spots that don't want to remove. Okay, so here is where we're at this point. This is like pretty much the assembly. We're going to come in, pop these two little strips at the top and bottom. You could certainly frame out the entire thing if you wanted to. I'm just really kind of digging this look right now. Especially here for Christmas. It kind of reminds me of Santa's, like, scrolls. You can see, guys, just this as a base, super cute. Now, the one other thing that I wanted to show you, and this pretty much works with most of the Dollar Tree solid color washi tapes. So in order to fade this out a little, to kind of soften it, almost like it is a painted look, I'm just going to come in with a sanding block, and you want to be really cautious, really careful on this. So I'm going to try to use this edge. And I'm going to sand across this washi tape. And I'm just going to keep doing this until it fades it out. Just be careful that the black dust that comes up from the sanding, you can smudge across your page or across your foam core surface. So be careful of that. And it's nothing more than the ink dust from scratching that off kind of transfers. But you can see I've had this one a while. This is one of those rubber erasers that Dollar Tree has. It works really well for adhesives, hot glue, anything like that. Your wet glues, trying to get adhesive off. It works well for your foam core on trying to get certain types of touches and stains off of it. So I don't know if you guys can see where there is a slight little bit of graying right there in that center portion. Just from the little bit of dust that came off. So I can just take this in, rub it really lightly, and it's going to remove that. So keep that in mind, that little gadget is really worth the investment. Rather than make y'all sit and listen to me scrape across this foam, styrofoam type surface with a scratchy sanding block, I'm going to cut away, finish sanding this. You can leave it this way if you want to without the extra sanding. I do like that it fades that shininess off of there a little bit. And almost kind of makes it a little more subtle, like it's been painted on. So that's kind of a personal choice. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that and grab my other piece that should be dry. All done with the annoying sanding. And hopefully maybe you can kind of see that softened that look just a hair. And it made it look like true painted on stripes. So, last thing to do is come back in with my now black, merry, and bright sign. I noticed that there's a few little rough spots. I typically try to remember to sand these wood pieces down before I paint them. Although, I did not really notice the rough spots just along the edges without having my glasses on at the time. I'm still in denial with that, guys. I didn't have my glasses on at the time, and now that it's black, I can really see some of those edges were a little rough. So do that ahead of time. And here we go. I'm just going to come in really quick with my ruler We know that the height of this is 20 inches, so that means that my center point is going to be at this 10-inch range, and then 7.5 going across. And wow, I was spot on with that. So that legit is center point. I'm going to use that to help me find my placement. And just one thing, just to be on the safe side here. I want to make sure that it's not lopsided any. Okay, that looks like I've got the alignment pretty good there. So I'm just going to come in pretty heavy with this on the glue. Just because I had some warping on my other piece, not my foam core, my actual little piece of wood, with the piece on earth side, was so warped and bowed that it really didn't want to lay flat on this surface once I went to apply it down. So you be as generous or stingy with the glue as you feel necessary for your piece. And pull my little strings off before I get this thing applied down. And I'm going to push it in place. So I do the blow dryer and stuff, but I keep this little Dollar Tree hand broom thing, and it's got really stiff bristles. It works really well in order to get hot glue strings off of just everything. Just wave it around and it catches them in those really stiff bristles. And of course now it looks like it's got spider webs hanging down, but I put like a little makeshift hook on it, and I keep it hooked right beside my desk to help. Usually I'll come in with a heat gun or a blow dryer and try to do it, but I do feel like it's a little scarier to do on a finished sign like this. So there's the final piece. This is what it looks like. I hope you guys like it. I absolutely love it. And that's all, folks. The only thing I have to say is I hope you guys get a chance to do a little crafting this weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.